Hi, my name is Jim Stoll. I'm part of Team Alpha. We are going to be presenting our game idea for our class today. And this idea, we are actually going to include the basics of the game, the audience that we're directing it towards, the type of gaming style that we're going to use, the player interactions that will occur during the course of gameplay. Also, we'll take a look at the objectives and rules of the game itself. And then we'll get into the platforms that we would design it for, as well as any tools and resources that we would need to use in the creation and number, developers and that kind of thing. Um, the basic idea of the game is going to be setting the main character in an end time scenario in which they will earn experience based on their performance throughout the game. The the main character will initially be going through there'll be a cinematic start in which they find a Bible and they're in an end time scenario and they start reading to try to figure out and understand what is happening in the world that they're being thrown into. As they go through the Bible, they will find mini games that occur, everything from like gem style games to or gem matching games to the other types of like trivia type of games, as well as a couple of action games themselves, in which the player will have to um, interact with what's on the screen, dodging snakes if they're in the time of the Pharaoh with Moses, or possibly slinging stones if it's David and Goliath. We're going to touch on some of the major stories in the Bible throughout the game itself. And then that'll give one set of experience, so to speak. Also, in the process, there will be the real world that they are having to interact, having to live in and survive in. During this point of the game, it's going to be a role playing type of game, so there will be leveling up with more interactions and skill sets that they'll have to level up as they go through the game. Some of the role playing aspects of it will include missions that would be similar to a lot of the first person style games. I know with first person games, especially the first person shooters, they're actually very popular games. So we thought this would be a good way to go to be able to pull in some of the crowd. We're kind of aiming towards the 17 to 24 year olds, just because they tend to be more avid gamers. Also, because the first person style game is so popular, uh, it only made sense. Randy Salas from the Tribune Business News in 2007 had written an article in which he actually had a statistic that was stating that first person shooter type games, or just first person games in general, were actually earned $400 million in 2005 and in 2006 in the US alone. So we thought this would be a good format to use for that. It also allows for an immersive environment, so the actual player can feel like they're in the shoes of the character themselves. Now, one possible uh, fallback or issue would be the violence aspect. There will be minimal violence just because it's the end times. It's very difficult to get away from that if you're in that environment, that world, so to speak. Stephanie Simon from Focus on the Family in 2006, there was actually a game that was released that had similar time frame. It was Left Behind was the video game, and I can't remember remember the subtitle, but it was Left Behind was the name of the game. It was based on the books by Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. Um, in that game, there were some objections because of the killing, but Stephanie did point out that even with those situations happening, when a character died, it just disappeared. There was no gore, no blood, nothing like that. And that's kind of the aspect that we would be going as well. Any of the violence that may occur will not have a big gore bath. The characters will basically just disappear. Um, so as for everything else, I will let my teammates explain those situations and go from there. Thank you.